just this section.
Okay,
God recited
so you're saying that is God reciting it to the Prophet
exactly what it says. Yeah. فَإِذَا قَرَأْنَاهُ. Like if we read it, that's it. Like what do you want me to? You want me to explain this for you?
Because
like,
you know why you're in a predicament here.
I'm not in a predicament.
You are, because you are not sure who is the one reciting that.
No, I'm sure it's God. God's reciting it.
Oh, you're sure now?
Yes.
Are you sure it was God reciting it?
Yes, when we recite it.
Do you really think that God can actually recite it to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam?
No, I'm sure.
Without the agency of
I'm sure
an angel.
He sent an angel. God can. I'm sure He sent an angel there.
Now you're sure it's an angel. Make up your mind. Are you sure about whether it is God reciting it or whether it's an angel reciting it?
I think the point is that it doesn't really matter.
No, it does matter.
No, to me it doesn't matter.
Because in order for you to understand the context of every single verse of the Quran, I think it is very important that you understand what exactly the Quran is talking about. And that is the reason, as a Muslim, as a Sunni, and even I think even the Shia, yes, even they would go to their scholars to understand certain things in the Quran.
I mean,
you do not use your own.
There's only two understandings here when we recite it. It's either God saying it to Muhammad.
So which one are you sure about?
Doesn't matter.
It does.
Why does it matter?
It
Why does it matter
because
if Gabriel brought it or God told
No, it's not about bringing it.
God's
It's about,
word or not?
it does, because in terms of logic, if you cannot see Allah and live,
sure,
yes, and you will die, and you cannot hear His voice in this dunya unless Allah wishes you to, then this is something that you should consider in the context.
Sure.
Okay? Then what
does this
do you believe?
In terms of belief? What does it matter?
Look, everything is part of belief when you read the Quran. Sure. For you to understand it in a different way would actually really impact your belief. For example, when Allah tells you to pay zakat and to atiyu salah wa atiyu zakat, yes, to give zakat and to pray, then Allah has a specific instruction for you.
Agreed.
But you will interpret it the way you want. It's like, for example, I'll give you from the example in the Quran when the Sabt, which you talked about earlier, yes, the Saturday on the Yawm al-Sabt, when Allah told the Bani Israel not to do certain things, right? But they actually use their own understanding as to how to get around that prohibition. Do you remember that story?
They use the oral tradition.
No.
Yes,
I don't know if you understand.
The Talmud goes around that.
The oral tradition, or whether it is a written tradition, it was based on the Torah. So the instruction of Sabbath. Wait. The instruction of the Torah, okay, was to keep the Sabbath, but they were not supposed to do the fishing on that day. Do you remember how they got around it? It's in the Quran.
I didn't read the Talmud.
It's actually in the Quran. It's not in the Talmud. It's in the Quran. This story.
What? How they got around
it?
Yes. Okay. But what does it matter?
It does matter because I just told you, you would use your own whims and desires.
I'm not. Okay.
Hold on, let me finish. Just like the Bani Israel, just like the Jews at that time, they got around a prohibition, something that Allah had made it haram on them. Yes? They tried to make it halal by going around the prohibition. So they would actually lay down their nets, yes, on the previous day, and then when the fishes used to come in, they'll say, look, we didn't do anything, the fishes came in our nets. Yes, I'm paraphrasing here. So what Allah has made haram, the people by their own whims and desires made it into halal by what they thought, using their own understanding and rational, that this is for us not prohibited. Okay, now that unfortunately you are in the same predicament. When it says atiyu salah wa atiyu zakat, then you would say no, salah doesn't mean the obligatory 5 times prayer. Zakat doesn't mean zakat.
You're basing on what other people are saying, right?
No, I'm basing on the example that I just gave you.
You're saying, okay, look, the Quran says atiyu zakat wa atiyu salah, okay? Atiyu
salah wa atiyu zakat.
Okay, so if he's doing this, okay? Yeah. If he's saying this, and you're saying no, actually there's 5 times prayer. I'm saying you're using an external book to interpret this book.
No, the book itself says us to obey Allah and obey the messenger.
No. Obeying the messenger does not mean you could slap on 5 extra books to the Quran and say this is what the messenger did.
Say again.
You're saying that the hadith that you have is the actions of the Prophet.
Yes.
And I'm saying that there's no confirmation that this is actually the actions of the Prophet.
So what does Atiyu Rasul mean?
To obey the Rasul.
In what way?
As in following the Quran.
But that would be Atiyu Allah. The Quran is not the Rasul's.
No, I can't Atiyu Allah the Torah.
Say again? Forget the Torah for a minute. Come on.
I can't?
What's that?
I can't ati'u Allah with Torah, using the Torah. I can't?
You can't, because the the Quran, like I told you, it is the one which is the Muhammad.
If I don't have knowledge.
No, I'm not. Let's not talk about exceptions. Let's talk about what we are discussing here. When Allah says ati'u Allah wa ati'u Rasul, why didn't Allah just say ati'u Allah? Because that is exactly what believing, obeying Allah is, the Quran.
Not really, no, it's not. How, dude, I'm telling you.
What's the difference between just reading?
If you're a Jew at that time, I'm saying, if you're a Jew at that time,
yeah,
and you don't ati'u Rasul,
yes,
then that means you don't follow the Quran, but you still follow the Torah. You still ati'u Allah in that way.
No, but Allah says the only acceptable religion is Al-Islam.
Dude, you're naming it Islam and you're making a brand around it. But what I'm saying, so Islam just means submission, to submit to God. Jews submit to God, that's Islam.
So following the Quran is not submission to God?
Following the Quran is a way of submission to God. It's a way to the Gentiles, in my opinion.
Okay, so when Allah says in Surah Al-Baqarah that the Jews have changed their books, do you not believe that?
I do believe they changed the books. I didn't say they
So why would you follow the Torah when you know it's been changed?
I'm saying that, okay, I don't follow the Torah because I'm not a Jew.
So why did you bring that in? I don't understand.
I'm saying the Torah, if I want to follow God, okay, as a Jew, okay, then I could just follow the Torah.
You know something?
How do I ati'u Rasul? I ati'u Rasul by following.
When I ask you a specific question, can you please respond to that? Sure. When Allah says ati'u Allah, sure, okay, only ati'u Allah, what does it mean?
Ati'u Allah, then, I don't know, obey God.
Obey God.
Sure.
Okay, is reading the Quran obey God only? Yes?
It's a way of obeying God.
Okay, then why does Allah say ati'u Rasul after that?
Because that's also obeying the Rasul. Ati'u Rasul is you're still obeying the Quran. But
if it meant the same thing...
What is the Rasul's job? What is the Rasul's job? That's why I want
to expound on the Quran.
It's to expound on the Quran.
Yes, one of his jobs is to expound on the Quran.
According to who?
According to the Quran as well, the words that I read to you earlier.
Read, I'm telling you, read it from the
beginning. وَمَا يَنْتَكُ عَنِ الْحَوَى. Okay, he doesn't use his own desires when he expounds on it.
No, you're assuming that yourself. It's clearly when it's revealed to him. When the Quran is revealed to him, he's not expanding, he's not adding to it.
Okay, so when Allah says to obey Rasul and to make the Rasul judge when you have when you have an argument, correct, yes, to make the Rasul an arbitrator. What does that mean?
That's at that time.
At that time only? Not for the whole of...
Well, I can't confirm what Muhammad... I'm telling you, the Muhammad that you have is different from the Muhammad of the Shias.
I'm not a Shia. Are you a Shia?
I'm not, no.
So why are you bringing the Torah inside, the Shia inside, when I'm talking to you? I don't understand this.
Okay, so I'm saying...
Just stick to your belief. Okay, forget about everybody else. Just for ease of understanding.
I apologize. I'm saying, how do I know that the Muhammad that you're saying is Muhammad is actually the judge?
I'm giving you the Quran, bro. I'm giving you the Quran. I'm not telling you your Muhammad or my Muhammad.
No, your interpretation of Muhammad is the Hadith, is the Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. Okay, that's your.
I didn't even discuss Sahih Muslim and Bukhari. Okay. I just gave you the ayahs of the Quran. Now, based on the ayah of the Quran itself, when it says Ati'u Allah wa Ati'u Rasul, okay, they both are there.
Yes.
Yes. When I just read the Quran, I'm doing only Ati'u Allah.
No, that's not true. That's not true. That's not true.
So I'm actually obeying Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Of course.
So did Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam say anything other than what Allah said?
I'm sure he said something other than what Allah said.
So how would you obey the Rasul without the Sunnah then?
I'm saying...
How would you obey the Rasul?
I'm obeying him by following the book that he brought.
No, I'm saying other than the Quran. Remember I said that and you said of course.
So that means I can follow every single thing he says.
No, every single thing related to the deen.
According to you though. That's your interpretation of follow the Rasul. I'm saying follow the Rasul means follow the book that he brought.
So there's no difference between obeying Allah and obeying the Rasul then?
No, it's not.
So in that context, obey the Rasul is completely...
By obeying the Rasul, you obey God as well.
Yeah, but are you telling me, just like you don't understand the Quran, you have to rely on the dictionary, on a lexicon, to understand even the terms of Arabic?
I'm translating.
Yeah,
not
based on
rules,
somebody else. Based on somebody else.
The rules are based on...
No. You are translating something based on someone else's understanding.
I could use that Islamic, no problem.
Say again?
Okay, sure. Let's assume that zakat, the Islamic explanation, is charity, okay?
It's charity?
Let's just say it is.
No, let's just say, what do you believe about zakat?
Zakat means purity. It just means purity.
So purity applies to everyone in society, even the rich people.
As in,
do you agree?
You have to have purity.
Do you agree?
Yes.
So are you telling me that zakat is even for the rich people?
What do you mean, like to give?
Yes, to give. It says accuse zakah.
Okay. Who?
That is also mentioned in the...
I'm saying, as a believer, you have to ati'u zakat.
To whom?
It doesn't say to whom, it's to God. I'm telling you, keep
So you give zakat to God.
It's purity. I'm
Okay.
saying you're
Let me find you.
I'm saying purity. Keep your.
Okay.
When the Quran
at least
says,
for me, that's sadaqah and
I have a
zakah.
question. When the Quran says Zakka Zakaria, okay? When the Quran talks about how God Zakka Zakaria, okay? Does that mean that he gave charity to him?
What about
Does
zakah?
that mean he gave 2.5% tax to him? Is that
To
what
whom?
it means? Zakat.
Say again?
In one of the surahs, it talks about how God Zakka Zakaria after he talked to him.
Bring up the surah. Let's read it. You know, it's very clear to every Muslim that zakah is for the poor people, the needy, the orphans. If this man tells me that zakah is also to be given to the rich people,
I'm honestly trying to find truth. I'm not here to. I'm honestly trying to find the truth. The problem is that the Quran comes in and says that
No,
it's
you-
complete and fully detailed.
Yeah.
And
When you say-
Muslims are trying to say that the Quran is you have to add on these 5 books, and otherwise you will not understand the Quran. And I'm saying, why does it say that it's complete and fully detailed? That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
I'm not trying. I'm honestly trying to understand.
no, I don't think you are, because you have already made a statement saying that you will not go by the definition of the scholars or the Bukhari. Let me finish. I'll let you finish. Okay? Allah says in the Quran, نزل عليك الكتاب بالحق مصدقا لما بين يديه وأنزل التوراة والإنجيل. Okay? He has sent down upon you, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the book in truth, confirming what was before it.
Yes.
And he revealed the Torah and the Gospel. What do you understand by this?
Sorry. Are you
Read
talking-
Arabic if you want.
So number 3.
Yeah, verse 3. This
He has
is
sent down upon you Muhammad.
chapter 3:3. So 3:3, yeah.
So he has sent down upon you Muhammad, the book in truth, confirming what was before it. So he sent down the book to you, and it's confirming the some stuff, obviously, from the books before it.
Some stuff, it doesn't say some stuff.
Okay, confirming the one before it, no problem. Confirming the ones before it.
So
Confirming
what does
the
it
books
mean?
before
What
it.
does confirming mean
All right, I
in this
wanna-
context?
Confirming is as in like
Like, are they still,
it's bringing truth. It's
Are the-
making sure that these other books are true.
so are they still true?
Other books, yes.
They're still true. So you would actually follow the Torah and Injil today.
I would follow the Torah and the Injil before I follow a book that came after. Yes.
So
if
how
I
would
need
you-
a reference. If I need a
Okay,
reference.
how would you know which is the right Torah? Today. Today, how would you know which is the right Torah?
I'm not sure. I'll look into it. I didn't really need it, to be honest with you, but I'm sure that God attests to this before He attests to books that came after it. So
No, the question is this. How would you know which Torah Allah is confirming? Because there are many people who claim there are many Torahs. Okay? Even the Jews themselves, they differ between the versions of the Torah. Okay? And the Christians differ between the versions of the Bible.
The first 5 books are not really debatable.
Really? How do you know the first 5 books are the Torah?
Well, I
Based on the Quran or based on somebody else?
no, I'm not saying that they are perfect. I'm not saying it's perfect.
No, I'm asking based on whom you're saying the first 5 books are not debatable.
The Jews attest that the first 5 books, there's not really differences between them and other Jews that claim the first 5 books. There's differences in Daniel, Ezekiel, all of them. But the first 5, there's none.
Are you sure about that?
I've looked into it. If you can bring me data, no
So
problem.
you're telling me the first 5 books,
The first 5 books,
are
there's
in-
not really differences between
so when Allah is telling you that He confirms the Torah and Injil which were revealed previous to the previous prophets, you believe the first 5 books that Jews hold on to today is that Torah.
He confirms some of them.
I'm talking about the first 5 books. I gave you specific. Are the first 5 books which the Jews hold on
You
to
asked
today?
me- no, I asked, okay, look, you asked me a question which is, what is the
Brother, can you pick up the Quran, please? Not put it on the floor. You're a Muslim, okay, you should respect it.
You asked me a question, which is, which version of the Torah do you believe in? And I'm saying, you can bring any sectarian Jew, okay? And all of them will attest that the first 5 books are the same. And they are the Torah. They are actually the Torah, okay?
The first 5 books are the Torah.
The first 5 books.
And who told you
the rest
this?
of it is the Tanakh.
And who told you this?
The Jews. I looked into the Jewish text.
So where do you do Atiyullah, Atiyur Rasuliya? You're going to the Jews now.
Dude, I'm saying I'm Atiyah love and Atiyah Rasul through the Quran. If I need a reference, I reference the Torah before I can reference the book that came after.
Which part of you referencing the Jews?
I don't reference the Torah.
Let me finish the question. When Allah says Atiyullah wa Atiyur Rasul, does He include the Jews in that?
Atiyah Allah, Atiyah Rasul. No.
But that's exactly what you're doing now. You said I'll go and ask the Jews.
Oh my God. I'm saying. So what? Okay, so when he's saying Ati'u Allah, Ati'u Rasul, that means I'm Ati'u
That's a
Bukhari
question.
then.
No, don't go to Bukhari. Now the question is about the Jews. You see, you do this every time. Every time I ask you a specific question, no, but you claim this. You claim that when the Jews tell me the first 5 books of the Torah. So now I'm asking you, which part of that statement you made, listen to the question, which part of the statement you just made, that the Jews tell you the first 5 books of the Torah, falls into this principle of Ati'u Allah, Ati'u Rasul?
None of those fall into that principle.
Good. So based on whose?
The Quran.
Based on whose principle you're doing, so you're putting your faith in what the Jews say.
I'm not putting my faith in this.
So once again, how would you know the first 5 books are of the Torah?
The first 5 books are the books of Moses. Dude.
Yeah. How would you know that? Allah doesn't
How
say
do
the
I
first
know?
5 books of the Torah anywhere in the
Because
Quran.
Moses wrote them.
How do you know that the first 5 books are from Moses?
Oh, it doesn't really matter to me.
It,
It really doesn't really matter.
you know, just listen to
I
yourself,
don't
bro.
really reference
Bro,
it.
just listen to yourself.
No,
But every
no.
time you say it doesn't matter, yes, that means your claim doesn't really matter what you claim.
No, not really.
It does, because as soon as you say it doesn't matter, it means for you it holds no value.
No, I approach it in a way that the Quran is complete, and because of this, there's no need for external text. There's no need for that. When it's saying that it confirms the ones before it, all it's saying is that the books that the Jews have and the Christians have, there is some truth in that. That's all it's saying. It's confirming some of the things that this says.
Okay.
And how is it being confirmed? It's being confirmed throughout the Quran. So when it says Moses is a real figure, it's confirming that the Jews actually had a figure called Moses.
Yes, Allah says about Moses in the Quran. I don't need to go to the Jews for that. Okay, I think your answer should rely, if you hold the Quran as your, what do you say, as your criterion,
It is.
Al-Furqan.
That's correct,
Yes,
it is.
then you don't go and ask the Jews to verify something.
You know what
Okay.
Furqan means?
Yeah, the criterion.
Furqan means division. It means the division.
No.
Furqan, yeah, Furq means
Okay, what does
separate.
mutashabihat mean?
Like it.
No,
Yes, mutashabihat means like it. Yes,
no,
it does.
it doesn't.
Look it up.
I did.
Look it up.
Here's the ayah, chapter 3, verse
Yes,
7.
There's ones that are clear and there's some that are mutashabihat.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
What
so
did you say earlier?
There's ones that are clear and ones that are like it. That's what
Mutashabihat is not translated.
No, I'm telling you, mutashabihat, that's what it means. It means like it.
Okay,
Like
mutashabihat means not.
I know there's a definition where it means
Not
like
specific.
not so clear.
Not
sure.
specific, yes.
But mutashabihat means not like similar. That's what
No,
mutashabih. لما تتشابه مثل شخص, it means that you look
no,
like them.
mithl means like it. Okay, mithl, not mutashabihat.
No,
Now you go to any dictionary and you find out mutashabihat means like it, then please bring that dictionary to me. Because right
Okay,
now,
look up the thing. It says
yeah, it does,
mutashabihat
it does.
مثلها.
Allah says very clearly, هو الذي أنزل عليك الكتاب منه آيات محكمات محكمات هن عم الكتاب الكتاب وآخر متشابهات. Okay, so the translation it is you.
mutashabihat.
Yes. The translation is, it is who sent down to you, in the brackets it says, O Muhammad, the book, in it are verses that are precise. Yes? Muhkamat.
Muhkamat means clear. I agree with that.
Yes, muhkamat.
Actually, muhkamat means rulings, but no problem.
Yeah, the rulings which are made clear. In this
Like
context. In this context,
clear rulings.
yeah, precise, the rulings are mentioned as well. But then there are certain things which are not specific.
Okay, so precise means daqiq. Okay, that's what daqiq means precise. Muhkamat means laws or clear cut, rules. Okay. Mutashabihat means like it. So there's clear cut rules and there's some that are like it.
Yes.
Where
So
it's
which
not
are
clear.
so the
Not clear-cut rules.
the correct translation of this is which are specific and which are not specific. Okay, for example, if I ask you,
That's according to Sahih International Translation.
okay, which translation do you follow?
I just look up the root word. That's
No, which translation do you follow? Are you seriously telling me you look at the root word of every single word in the ayah?
No, so
every time?
No, so basically,
You would be here forever.
I don't do that. I
Okay,
don't do
so
that.
which translation do you follow?
I usually look up I read it and I read the translation. If something
No, but
feels
there are many words you don't understand.
that's why I love the translation. I'm not saying I understand. I'm saying
But you put your faith in those translators then.
no,
Just like I
don't. I put it to the text. I take, for example, zakat. I look up the definitions. I look up there's purity, there's tax, and then there's I take this tax and I apply it everywhere. Okay? I apply it everywhere in the Quranic text. If it doesn't say, if it says God zakka Zachariah, does that mean that God paid a tax to Zachariah?
No, we're not talking about Zachariah. We're talking about the term zakat when you are being
Zakat.